when I was playing there, and I don't know if this is if I should bring this out because it's the locker room talk show. We try to bring out something that most people don't know. But when I was playing there, remember we were playing in the covered courts. Some
Yes.
people were asking, that rim looks a little bit smaller than normal.
Hello, once again, I'm Ronnie Magsanoc, and we are here with Noel Pascual, Rosa, and of course, no other than Coach Edmundo Ato Badolato. Coach,
Ooh.
kamusta na kayo dyan, Coach?
Again.
Kamusta na kayo? Kamusta kayo, Coach?
Oh, okay naman. Physically, I'm okay. Well, may mga sakit na mga matatanda like hypertension and pero under control naman.
Pero it's a good thing you're smiling, Coach, kasi ilang mga gustong malaman ng mga bidisa and some of the fans of basketball, especially sa high school. Alam nyo naman, kayo yung talagang guru namin pag sa high school. Talagang kayo yung superstar dyan. So,
Thank you.
so Coach, si Noel, I think may mga tanong yan. Pero mamaya may tanong din ako. Noel, I think you should have to fire the first question.
Yeah, so Coach, so I just want to ask, I know you've coached for so many years. You're a legendary coach, high school coach in San Beda. And I was one of the lucky ones, was able to play for your team. And so I just kind of want to take you back a little bit in time. Because specifically when I came there, if you remember, I came from the US and I was only there like for 2 years. But it was those 2 years na yung San Beda left the NCAA. And I was just a kid then, so I didn't really realize what was going on and coming from the US. So can you tell us a little bit about the history of why San Beda left the NCAA at that time? It was 1983, and I remember because Ninoy Aquino, when I came, was shot, and so it was around 80. I was there from 83 to 85, and I know that San Beda was not in the NCAA at that time. So if you can kind of enlighten us.
Yeah. Okay. During the 1983, the late Father Rector, Father Bernardo Perez, decided to take a leave of absence from the NCAA. Mainly because of the violence that was rampant then outside the college, outside the games, outside the venues, and also because there was a lot of cheating going around with regards to the eligibility of players. So Father Rector decided to take a leave of absence, which actually lasted for 3 years. Yon.
Okay, and then at the same time, so you mentioned the the I guess because like I mentioned the Ninoy Aquino. So I remember when we were practicing, a lot of times there would be no school because of riots, right? And a lot of times my guardian, which was my tita at the time and my lola there, they were asking, well, there's no school, but you have practice. So it's not safe to go to school, but it's safe to go to practice. So was there any like politics with regard to that, or how were you able to maneuver through those politics, if you will?
No, actually, we asked permission to conduct the practices. Even actually, I think it was only a short time that classes were called off. It wasn't that long. So I was able to get permission. So we continued with the practices because we had the other tournaments, if you remember.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So we had the MMBL and then the National Intersecondary. So we had to continue our training.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember those times. And then the summers were very grueling. You would take us to run.
Yeah, that's Coach Ato. Doesn't matter if the school or no school, just practice.
Well, we take a break Holy Week.
There you go.
Well, I have a
Sige,
okay,
sige, go
good.
ahead, go ahead.
Well, I have a question, like Coach. I know you have like great players, and one of them is Noel. Like, how do you, how do you like? I know recruiting is one of the thing that you do best, but how do you see a player who's you think will do good in your team? How do you look for players? What do you look for in a player?
Well, it depends on what the team needs at that moment. We may have good point guards at that time, but we lack big men, so we try to look for big men, and also if we lack point guards, I try to look for point guards. Now, later on, as time went by, modesty aside, players came to me. I mean, my former players brought some players that they knew would make the team, so they came on their own. Did not have to recruit that much, But of course, recruitment was a big factor. We had to get players to complement the homegrown talent that we had.
Yeah, that's good. All right,
Pero wala ba kayong secret sauce talaga, Ato? Kasi yun lang talagang everybody was like wondering talaga kung ano yung recruitment parameters nyo, kung ano yung tinitignan nyo sa player aside from yung mga soft skills niya na team player siya or unselfish siya. Ano ba yung mga talagang essentials na hinahanap niyo?
Well, of course, we always look for height, players with height, because of course you cannot teach height, and even if they were raw at the beginning, so long as they had the potential and they had the height. Well, one perfect example would be Benjie. Although meron na rin siyang talent when I first saw him, but he was still raw. But I knew that he could be developed. But the same with the point guards. I always try to get point guards who really are point guards. Pass first and shoot later. Although in the course of time, we were looking also for point guards who can shoot. Another example is of course Ronnie Magsanoc.
Yeah. And Coach, you brought up Benjie Paras and Ronnie Magsanoc. So that was a little bit before when I got there, because I got there in '83. So I know your 1982 championship NCAA team is regarded as probably one of the best, if not the best, high school team, because you had like 6 players in that team that eventually would play in the PBA. Benjie, Ronnie, Eric Altamirano, Macky De Joya, Gerry Esplana. And so can you talk a little bit about how these players got to San Beda? Did you recruit any of them, or did they recruit you in a sense that they wanted to come to San Beda?
Well, Benjie was recruited through a former coach of San Beda, Mr. Chris Pulo Olong Hokson. And then the rest were actually homegrown.
Oh, okay.
From elementary.
From elementary school.
From elementary,
okay.
yes. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Noel po. What did you see in him? He's been bragging about his hook shot.
Okay, I'm gonna have to, Coach. I'm gonna have to tell you a little bit. Okay, so this is my assumption, because Coach, the legendary Coach, he's probably obviously coached so many students and athletes. So I don't know if you remember, Coach, but I came from the U.S. and I studied 2 years in San Beda in elementary school. So my classmate was Dong Vergere.
Okay, the late Dong Vergere.
The late Dong Vergere. So then I came back 2 years in high school. So when Dong saw me, and I guess when you mentioned height, I'm on the taller side, especially for the Filipino. So Dong saw me and he goes, "Hey, Noel, is that you?" And I said, "Yeah, it's me." And so Dong was the one that asked me. He said, "Hey, do you want to do you play basketball? Do you want to try out, for our team? And I know you already had, because I just came from the US, like I was there like last minute, and you already had you already formed your team. You already had like your tryouts from the previous year and all that. So you did like a special tryout just for me. Like I was the only one. I think you did it as a favor to Dong, because Dong was our captain eventually. So that was what I remember. So Dong asked me, and I'm assuming Dong asked you, and you agreed. And I was like trying out all by myself. You already had the team, and obviously Paras was there. And that summer, before I came to the Philippines, I was practicing this hook shot all summer long in the U.S. And then when I got there, so one of the things was I did a hook shot over Paras, and I just told them, "Oh, I think I don't really know, because you're the one that made the decision." But I said, "I think that's probably why I
You
got
made an
in."
impression.
Yeah. So because nobody really does a hook shot, even to this day and age, it's not really that popular. But that's kind of the story I was telling them, and that's kind of what's in my mind. So they kind of like, "Oh, okay."
So let's
And
get
I
the
believe
record straight now.
I believe you made it to the team as position four, beside Paras, if I remember correctly.
Yes, that's correct. I don't know if you remember this, coach, but you didn't have a position. So you said, you looked at my age. And in the beginning, you're like, "Oh, I already have my team." So you looked at my age and you told me, "Oh, you're young enough. You can go to the aspirants first." So you put me in the aspirants, and I was playing with Dennis Ramirez. Um,
Okay.
yeah, so you put me there first because you're like, "Oh, because I came late and everything." And then eventually, I was able to go to the juniors. But I remember you that's what you told me. It's like, "Oh, I'll put you here first, and then we'll slot you in later." So
Well, there's another incident similar to yours. This was in I don't remember the year, but the team was already formed. I'm talking of not the NCAA, but the Passerelle.
uh-huh.
I don't know if
Mhm.
Passerelle is the 12 to 14 years old tournament. So the team was already formed, and all of a sudden, 1 week into classes, here comes LA Tenorio.
Mm.
Okay.
So I had to make room for him. So I talked to one of the players if he could sit for 1 year. So I put in LA Tenorio. He similar to yours.
Okay.
The team was formed, and I made some provisions to get him inside.
He was a transfer from another school. Is that not right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was. He graduated from Don Bosco Makati. I was after him, but Adamson beat me to him first year high school.
Mm.
So after 1 year, the family decided to go to San Beda on their own.
Mm.
Yeah. So and we had Robert Sison. I'm sure you remember Robert Sison.
Yes, of course. Yes.
So we had him and we interviewed him, and they were like kind of doubting my story. So but Robert Sison was able to confirm it. He says, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's why." Even he said, "That's why Ato got him his hook shot." This and that. You can put this myth away. Now, coach, I wanted to ask you, because this happened in my time, and it also happened when I was in third year, because Benjie is 1 year below me. So I don't know if you remember this, but this kind of goes because everybody's familiar with what a coach does as far as basketball, right? But I'm gonna take you a little bit into the academic side, and maybe you can share some information with us. So remember when I was in third year, if you remember Mr. Tayao, the chemistry
Yeah.
teacher, you know how we always have practices and games after school. Well, he had
Yes.
a chemistry lab, and I remember you and him were like arguing, or I don't know, maybe not arguing is the right word, whether I should be in the chemistry lab or if I should be playing a game. So can you take us a little bit about? And I know that happened to Benjie too. The year later, we were supposed to play. We were playing a dual meet game against LaSalle, and Benjie couldn't play. So we probably would have won that game easily without Benjie. But what happened was we were down by two. Dong gave me the ball, passed me the ball, and I was gonna drive, and I looked at the shot clock. I don't have enough time to drive, so I shot it. We tied the game, and then we eventually won in overtime. But I remember
wow.
that because Tayao took Benjie out of that game because he was supposed to be in lab, and that happened to me the year before, the exact same thing. So can you talk a little bit about how you discuss, or uh, academics versus athletics?
Well,
The argument is
well,
student athlete or athlete student.
of course, primarily we are all players are student athletes. No? Academics first. Now, and the late Nonoy Tayao was really strict. He was really strict, but he was a person with the heart. If you remember Jun Lauchenko, your batch.
Yes, of course. I remember June.
Okay.
Yes.
So for the first 3 quarters, he got a 70, a grade of 70.
Mhm.
First three grading periods.
Mhm.
So he needed an 88 in the fourth quarter to be able to graduate.
Mhm.
And Nonoy gave him the 88. He was strict, but he was a person with a heart.
Mhm.
Mm. Pero
Talagang
coach,
yeah.
And then,
Yes, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Now go ahead.
Kasi coach talagang napansin ko lang din na na yung talagang penchant kasi ibang recruiters hinahanap talaga malaki like Noel who's like 6'2", 6'1". Pero napansin ko rin na ang talagang primary focus ng recruitment is point guards. Is there any rationale sa inyo, yung philosophy nyo na pwede nyo i-share na bakit point guards ang talagang target nyo or coincidence lang?
Siguro coincident lang, pero I will maintain that point guards are very, very important in basketball. I would go as far as to say that point guards are what pitchers are to baseball.
Mhm.
They direct. You can have a big man, but if he doesn't get the ball, we're not gonna win. And point guards are very important. Siguro coincidence na naging what they call point guard factory ang Red Cubs daw. So many. Actually, I've had several interviews that tried to ask me who was my best point guard, and I couldn't answer because most of the point guards that we produce were good. So I cannot give one specific player.
Mm-hmm. Napansin nga rin na high IQ lahat yung mga point guards, especially na nasa PBA na ngayon or played at international level. Talagang high IQ. And coach, salamat sa mga championships na nabigay niyo sa San Beda also. Talagang
yes, Fran.
Pero sa sobrang dami nun, maybe you can give us like 3 memorable championships talaga na either win or lose or talagang memorable sa inyo.
Lahat memorable eh.
Yung memory niyo.
Lahat memorable eh. Siguro yung nung nandun si Noel, mas memorable.
That's because I'm here.
I was kidding.
Okay.
All my championships. Well, probably the most memorable was my last year.
The last year.
The most special was my last year because I still have a tape of that, and kinakansawan ako nung babae na nag-i-interview because I was in tears. First thing, because we won. Actually, it was a rubber match against Letran.
Mhm.
So we won that game, and since it was my last year, yun ang pinaka-memorable siguro sa akin. And of course, yung una din, 1974, kay Chito Lizaga and Chuck Barrero.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
So Coach, kind of asking this question. So again, most everybody knows you for the high school, but I know when I was there, for the 2 years that I was there, you actually coached college. So Macky De Joya, Gerry Esplana, Mark Manyoska, Julius Opinion, they were on the Red Cubs over the 1 year, and then the next year they were in the Red Lions, and you were coaching them, I think, with Emmanuel Cosico. So can you tell us a little bit about your coaching with the Red Lions team?
Well, actually, my coaching the Red Lions team was just an interim thing. The coach had resigned, and there was no other coach yet. So I just coached them on an interim basis.
Is that for so did you coach them for a whole year, 2 years? Or
Yes, for 2 years.
2 years?
Actually, mahirap din kasi games at that time were one after the other. So it's hard. It was not fair to either team that I would handle them both because I was coaching the juniors. Siyempre, my head was also thinking about the next game. And then when coaching the seniors, I was thinking about what happened in the first game. But of course, my mind was tired. So it was only an interim. I just stuck with the Red Caps na lang.
And I think that in those 2 years that I was there, and obviously Benjie was there as well, I think it helped develop Benjie because I remember because Benjie was so much bigger and than everybody else. You also had him practicing with the Red Lions, and I think that helped tremendously in Benjie's development.
Yes.
Now you said you don't really have a favorite Red Cubs team, and that just like the father, right? I don't have a favorite son or daughter or favorite kid. But just to kind of go back to that, I mentioned earlier the '82 team. Did you have any other Red Cub team that had 5 or 6 players that went into the PBA?
No, there was no other team that had 5 players that went to the PBA. Although I had one team also that I considered pretty strong. This was the team of Ren Ritualo and Jenkins Messina. We had Brit Roma as the point guard, and Marco Malesa. That was also a powerhouse team. Also with the team of there was 1 year when we entered 7 tournaments and we won all of them. This was also the team of JV Casio, Yuri Escueta, Ford Arao. That was the team was it was the bench was quite deep for that team. So yung tatlong team siguro ang tingin kong pinakamalakas na produce.
And I know too when I was there, a lot of people always talk about your NCAA championships, but when I was there, we weren't in the NCAA, but we still won the national championship. I remember because
there were 3 years that we were not in the NCAA that we could have won the NCAA. This was the height of Benjie Paras. Also we had Ronnie and Eric, Gerry. Exactly. So those were the 3 years that we could have added to our NCAA collection, but unfortunately we took a leave of absence.
Yes, but I know after the season there's a national
yes, in the secondary, yes.
Yeah, and we won that. So that kind of shows that what you're saying, that we definitely should have won the NCAA. Now, as far as this is a similar question, but a little twist. So the '82 Red Cubs team had like 5 or more PBA players. Was there a team that you had that the players became coaches either at the college or higher level?
We are in the process, relative to that, we are in the process of, actually there is a group that is making a coffee table book about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We want to hear about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to hear about that.
So a part of that book, we counted the number of players that we had that became coaches, and we had more than 20.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I think there are about 23 or 24 players who were or are still coaching.
And is this the college level or higher, or what? When you say coach, any level distinction?
Senior level and commercial level.
Okay. So
the
college
NPBL,
gotcha.
MPBL, the League of Manny Pacquiao. So
Oh, yes,
I
yes,
have
yes.
I have some players who are coaching there.
Yes, because I know, like, from the people that I played with and know, like Gerry, Coach Robert Sison, right?
Yes.
Dong Verhere, of course.
Yes.
Jig Mendoza,
Yes.
Ronel Parado.
Yes.
Benjie also coached at San Beda for a
We
bit.
have right now coaching Bataan is Jonas Villanueva, one of my players. Another player is Kerwin McCoy. He is coaching Bulacan. Brito Roma is coaching Zamboanga. So there were about 23 or 24 that they will be featured in this book.
Nice. When is this
The
book?
book is coming out hopefully by end of November.
Okay.
Okay, very good.
By the time maka-visit ako dyan, Coach, bibili ko yung libro.
Buy it from
Bibili ako ng book.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Autograph copy.
Well, Coach, can we get a signature copy?
Sure. No problem.
Souvenir copy namin. Yeah.
No problem. I think Peter Lopez, the one in charge of this book, has been coordinating with several in the States. I just don't know who.
Okay.
I will ask him to get in touch with you.
Okay.
Okay, very good. And
Coach,
I know
alam mo yung title ng book?
Ironically, the people making the book, one is from, he graduated from San Beda, Alabang in high school and then pursued his college here in Mendiola. The other one is an Atenean.
oh wow, okay. A rival.
Jay Salvador. And then the third one is a former manager of the Adidas group of companies. So they are the three people involved in this book.
That's interesting.
And the name of the book, is it Unheralded?
Unheralded, right?
Unheralded?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
So, Coach, I know sorry.
oh no, I was just gonna say it was gracious of the Red Cubs team manager Sir Jarvis Cole was sharing us that information. So we really appreciate him also helping with this interview.
With this phone call.
Jarvis has been helping the Red Caps using all his money.
Yeah.
So, Coach, I know you're a very busy person. Maraming salamat, Coach. So, on behalf of mybalits.com, Top Digital Studio as our sponsors, Noel and Art and myself, Coach, maraming salamat sa oras nyo. So
okay, Coach, I have one last question. When I was playing there, and I don't know if this is if I should bring this out because it's the locker room talk show. We try to bring out something that most people don't know. But when I was playing there, remember we were playing in the covered courts. Some people were asking, that rim looks a little bit smaller than normal.
Oo nga, Coach. Tama nga. Bakit nga mas maliit nga yun?
Okay, that was made to order. I had it made here in school. And one of the recipients of that was Ronnie Magsanoc. He made homage to that rim.
Okay.
That made him the kind of shooter that he is. And actually, you know that we had covered court, we had a wooden court and a cement court.
Yes.
Now in tournaments here held here in San Beda, the opposing team wanted to play in the cement court because they could not shoot the ball in the wooden court. The cement court was a regular ring.
Okay.
Asa yun, mystery solved. So, Coach, maraming
Thank you very
salamat,
much, Coach. We
Thank you,
really
Coach.
Maraming salamat sa inyo.
Yeah.
Yes, Coach.
Thank
Thank
All right, take care. Thanks, Jarvis.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Guys.
Okay.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.